So you're saying 0 Hour, I haven't read it yet, is about what happens after the next crash?
Yes. Well, and it's also about what you do coming into it. You have to protect your assets. The U.S. dollar did the best in the last crash and will again. High-quality bonds do well. That's what does well in a deflationary crash when bubbles burst. Everything else gets killed. So you have to protect your wealth now. You have to consider, where do I live? How do I protect myself from some level of chaos in society? Because this is not going to be easy, what we're going to go through. We got to get rid of a bubble. We've got to change our political system. We've got to realign around cultures that are more compatible, like the red and blue cultures in the U.S. and the Sunni and the Shia in the Middle East and all this stuff. There's a lot to do here. So you really need to be settled down and get safe first. And then, you know, we can tell you how to take advantage of these changes. There's going to be huge opportunities to come out of this.
0 Hour is here. Turn the greatest political and financial upheaval in modern history to your advantage. Harry S. Dent Jr. is joining us in just one moment. But first, take a look at this.
We don't know what we're doing. We have leaders that are grossly incompetent.
They said it could never happen again.
The American Revolution, the U.S. Civil War, World War I, the 1929 crash, the rise of Hitler, World War II, the atomic bomb, the Arab oil crisis, and the global financial crisis of 2008.
Winston Churchill once said, the farther back you look, the farther forward you're likely to see.
Those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. What if all these events happen simultaneously?
Imagine the unimaginable.
The cycle of history suggests that we are on the brink of something this big.
Something of a magnitude never seen before.
Where mankind faces challenges, endures the healing, and rises up again into prosperity, strength, and wealth.
This is about the destruction of the old ways.
Top-down management, establishment politics, social engineering, financial and monetary manipulation, wealthy elitism,
and the rising up of a new world. History tells the future.
Are you ready for 0 Hour? The greatest political and economic revolution since the advent of democracy itself.
History tells the future. Beautiful way to say that. I'm actually, just so I get it out there, working on a book that has that basic title, and I haven't read 0 Hour. It just came in a few days ago again, just like Michael Savage's book. I can't wait to read it. By the way, I don't get paid to promote these books, and I don't just have people on because they're paying me to have them on. He's not paying me to have them on. I had Michael Savage on because he's a great guest, and I love reading his books. The same thing with Mr. Dent. But if you see a confluence or coming together of the basic terms we're using, it's not because we're plagiarizing each other. It's because if you study history, you know the future. If you know history, you know the future. History rhymes, as Mr. Dent has quoted another famous historian. And again, we have these corrupt elites. We have the centralization. We have the crony capitalism. I want to see it come down. But then I see Trump come in and it puffed back up, even though it's a fraud. He's trying to do it for the general public, and it's now been tied to his success and the success of Americana and free market. And so it makes me not want it to fail. But then I do realize it's still built, even though he's cutting regulations and doing some good things, it's built within a system designed to implode. So when do we run into that brick wall, and what do we do once we hit it? Harry S. Dent, thanks for joining us. 0 Hour is the new book, harrydent.com. Thanks for coming on with us.
Yeah, Alex, I mean, this really, I've been talking about this for many years. Obviously, we have a debt bubble, a financial asset bubble in stocks and real estate and everything, and those things always burst. And that was my last book, The Sale of a Lifetime. But this book is about something I've been talking about for many years, a bigger revolution like democracy and free market capitalism that in their pure forms came together in the late 1700s. And you know what now? Central banks have taken over free markets and special interests have taken over democracy. We don't have those two factors anymore. And this revolution with the internet and better communication and even like cryptocurrencies and new things coming out is going to change this political and our business organizations and everything else. and create an even greater bottoms-up economy around those principles.
Sure, so you're saying 0 hour, haven't read it yet, is about what happens after the next crash.
Yes. Well, and it's also about what you do coming into it. You have to protect your assets. The U.S. dollar did the best in the last crash and will again. High-quality bonds do well. That's what does well in a deflationary crash when bubbles burst. Everything else gets killed. So you have to protect your wealth now. You have to consider, where do I live? How do I protect myself from some level of chaos in society? Because this is not going to be easy, what we're going to go through. We got to get rid of a bubble. We've got to change our political system. We've got to realign around cultures that are more compatible, like the red and blue cultures in the U.S. and the Sunni and the Shia in the Middle East and all this stuff. There's a lot to do here. So you really need to be settled down and get safe first. And then, you know, we can tell you how to take advantage of these changes. There's going to be huge opportunities come out of it.
How long on the short term versus the long term can the bubbles stay inflated?
Well, you know, for economically, the worst, we have 4 indicators pointing down into early 2020, and then a few more pointing down into 2022, 23. So I'd say the next 3 to 5 years is going to be the worst economically and for things like the stock market. But this political revolution we're talking about is going to take a couple decades to really set in. And we're talking about, you know, I've got a chart here as well. We got 3 cycles pointing to a major revolution like the late 1700s. A 250-year deep political revolution, an 84-year populist cycle, which started in the early 30s, and again here with Trump and Brexit, and then a 28-year and an 80-year economic cycle. So this is going to only take 4, 5, 6 years to play out. But the bigger political revolution, and then in the next chart we have globalization. There's a backlash against globalization, which Trump is leading more than anybody.
And that was my next question. The EU says, oh, try to leave us? We built a secret army, just like Germany did in the 30s. We're going to invade you. Already 5 countries, day one, say, we're ready to fight you. I mean, the EU, once you have to start talking about fighting members that never voted to enter, you're done.
And Spain's having to fight Catalan, and on and on and on. We show in this book around the world, we have countries in Europe, the United States, even China, India, everywhere you look, where there are huge disparities in incomes and cultures and religions between different parts of countries. And you know what? You can't bring those together. Our political polarization is the most extreme, much more than the Great Depression and the Roaring '20s. More like the Civil War. So
sure.
Like we said in this little short video, what if we have kind of like a Civil War, a Great Depression, and a revolution in politics and business at the same time?
And that's what the historic,
that's what we're looking at.
And that's what you're saying, that's what we're looking at. That's what the historic patterns and this contemporary information all points towards kind of a superstorm?
Yes, and again, I've been saying this for a long time, but I've been concentrating before on the bubble in debt and financial assets, because that's the first thing to go. But I've always been saying, I've been saying for 20 years since my first book, we're going to have the biggest revolution since democracy and free market capitalism.
And it's happening. Stay there. Harry Dent, 0 hour. Tell folks to get the book in a moment. We're going to go to break, come right back. Folks, I want to try to fix things. And politically, we're trying to do it. But he's absolutely right. We have to be ready. We have to be aware of what's happening. It's absolutely critical. We're going to come back with him and get into 0 hour, what it means, the political revolutions he's talking about, the economic revolutions, the radicalization of the so-called left, which I was never a right-winger or a left-winger. I'm just a populist, but we're going to talk about it all. Briefly, it's important to exercise free speech and promote Americana. We have a new shirt that's designer quality, really soft, really nice, Won't Tread on Me, with a new design of the Gadsden flag. It's very iconic. I think this is the best shirt we've ever designed. Infowars.com on the right shoulder with an American flag. Infowars.com on the back of the shirt as well. That shirt is now available. Free shipping store-wide. We had to end 50% off on apparel because we sold out of most of it. and on Super Male Vitality and some other products. But we've expanded to Z-Shield, the heavy metal detoxifier that you take under the tongue that's so amazing. That's 50% off, even though it's going to sell out soon, but we've got more coming in. Caveman True Paleo, the bone broth, the turmeric, the chocolate mushroom, all of it, 50% off and free shipping. Never gone that low. We've had 50% off before, but not free shipping on top of it. So we've got that. Vitamin Mineral Fusion, 50% off with free shipping. Super Blue Fluoride-Free Mouthwash, 50% off. DNA Force back in stock, 25% off, free shipping. Secret 12, that's got us in the next few days, 50% off. And you're not just getting great supplements and great shirts and great books and great videos and great water filtration. You're funding an operation that is expanding in the face of the globalist and just trying to cover all the different angles to give the public the intelligence and information they need to make better decisions so all of us are better off. So, you know, you ask, when do I have authors on? I only have authors on I read. We had Michael Savage. We have Mr. Den on. I'll read both these books. So we'll be right back on the other side. Stay with me. Mr. Harry Dent, formerly with Bain Capital and a lot of other big groups, has a great history as a researcher and economist and author, is joining us right now. In the last segment today, I haven't gotten to all these videos of, oh, the little vacuum cleaner robot in your house hacked by hackers watching you in your house, or hackers getting into your thermostat, because I covered it 20 years ago. You get today's news 20 years early is basically what's really happening here. So that's all going to be coming up. But you were getting into revolutions. I understand you're more of a political atheist. You're a free market guy. And I don't like some of the stuff Republicans have done or Democrats have done. But there's a derangement in the left where just because I supported Trump over Hillary, they throw coffee on you. They physically attack you. They're calling for death of members of Congress. They want Trump dead. Mainstream media promotes it. I mean, these people have gotten nothing from the system. All they see is an old system being propped up right now by Trump. And I don't want the revolution to happen if it totally collapses. They want Cloward and Piven. They think if stuff collapses, there'll be a socialist reorganization and they're going to get some chicken in every pot scenario. They don't get that FDR was propping up a capitalist system using socialism, I guess, as an emergency. You can argue whether it was good or not, but you talk about political upheaval, the backlash against people waking up to centralization seems like piranhas on PCP. How does that feed into this political superstorm you're talking about?
Okay, I get number one. Central banks have taken over the free market capitalist system. They're setting the economy to grow at 3%, which they can't achieve through their best efforts with all the stimulation in the world, with 2% inflation. This is not how the economy works. It's a balance of opposites. You have booms and busts, inflation, deflation. The economy knows how to heal itself, just like the human body. And doctors usually spend most of their time preventing the human body from healing itself because they want to prevent the common cold, like economists want to prevent recession. So the system does have to fail, Alex, and I hate to say it, because everybody thinks, well, central banks have created another decent economy now.
No, I get it, but the left wants it to fail. The left wants it to fail and never come back.
No, well, wait, yeah. No, I want it to fail so it can come back.
No, I totally agree, but I'm saying they see free market as competition to their socialist utopia. How do we deal with that?
Well, again, I mean, Republicans want to cut taxes right at the wrong time when corporate profits are higher than ever, unemployment is lowest ever, workforce growth is not growing. We don't need more investment. We have low capacity utilization. Republicans want to stimulate through tax cuts. The Democrats want to have social engineering, which has also already failed. The whole thing has to fail, and then people have to realize, oh, we can't look to central banks. We can't look to special interests. They're never going to give us the right research to change our economy. And then you get a revolution and the people start to win. It's unfortunate, but the old system does have to fail to some significant degree to build the new out of the ashes. And I just know this from studying history. I wish it weren't the case, but that's...
Well, no, I know you're right. I mean, look at the plague.
It's prevented this from failing with all this quantitative easing and free money. They've not let the system fail, and the banks fail.
But let's look at the Black Plague in the 1600s. I mean, I know you've written about that scenario. Explain that to people. I mean, why did that cause the Renaissance?
Well, it did. When things fail, people have to get real. I always tell people, look, everyday people, I'm talking everyday people, become heroes when there's a crisis, 9/11 or the barn's burning, and people don't think, oh, am I going to die? They run in, they save the horse, they save the dog, they save the baby, the people. This is what happens. People get real. We are living in la-la land on both sides. The Republicans think if you just keep cutting taxes, the economy is going to grow. No, not when you've overexpanded. The liberals think, oh, if we just keep giving more welfare and printing more money, oh, we can keep going. No, these things kill the free market capitalist system. They kill, and special interests kill democracy. These things have to fail so that we don't trust them anymore and we don't look to somebody to come in and give us a free lunch. Everything
sure, let's historically
has been a free lunch solution.
Yeah, our audience understands that. We're just trying to debate when is the big crash coming or how long can we prop it up while we get ourselves in position. And then we worry about the globalists coming in and trying to use it to take full authoritarian control, which they say they've done and which they've done in other countries. So we know what's coming. There's a lot of problems. A lot of sharks are going to take advantage of this, not in free market ways, the way you're talking about to protect yourself, but in very predatory ways. How does the revolution thing from your historical perspective play into this?
Well, I mean, again, first of all, I mean, that's why I wrote this book, because the signs in late 2016, Brexit, and then Trump getting elected against the odds. And the day Trump got elected, we said, oh, my God, even though we were cautious about the market back then, we're not. No, the markets are going to love this. We're going to see a 25% run. Now we've seen that. So that makes me think this is like the final blow-off rally in the bubble. And the other thing I'm looking for, Alex, and it's very simple and it's starting to happen, I'm looking for a divergence between the main indexes like the NASDAQ and the Dow and the S&P and the small caps, the Russell 2000 and the Dow Transport. When those indexes start to fail before the big ones, it's a sign that the bubble's getting ready to burst. And that is starting to happen. I need a little more confirmation next month or two, but I think we're in a topping process, and this chart is perfect. That we've had 4 bubbles in this bubble boom. And I always call in our long-term research, we have 4 seasons in our economy. Spring boom, inflationary recession like the 70s, a fall bubble boom, and then a depression or a winter season. This is the 4th and largest bubble. And people keep going on CNBC and all these financial news stations say, oh, this isn't a bubble because all these reasons. This is a bubble. It's the biggest bubble in all history. China's even bigger than ours. This bubble looks ready to blow. I would guess it's topping between October and January, and between 2018, 19, and 20, when our indicators are the most negative, is when we're going to see this worst of this financial downturn. But again, what I'm saying in this book, the political and the social repercussions, this blue-red split and this whole, how do we reorganize our world around more compatible cultures? That's going to take many, many years. And this backlash against globalization, which, again, was a good trend for a long time, but it went too far. Globalization has just brought us into each other's throats, and everybody hates each other. Rich versus poor, black versus white, Sunni versus Shia, red versus blue, baby boomers versus millennials. Millennials feel totally threatened by the baby booms, massive debt and entitlement, and they are. So we have to sort all this out. It's going to be messy, which is why you need to preserve your wealth, get in safe investments, be in a safe place, and be healthy. That's what you need to get through this. And if you do, the world's going to be your oyster.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with you that we're sitting on top of a giant bubble. That's just a fact. I'm concerned there are people that actually want to bring the bubble down and have Trump's recovery fail just so they can blame him. That's not even looking at, he's just trying to put off something that was already there. And, you've been saying the bubble was going to bust for the last few years. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, who knows now? There were so many artificial things suppressing the economy before, like regulations and the coal being turned off, that you add all those other stimulus in, who knows? But I agree, it's a damn if you do, damn if you don't, because it props it up and everything's okay for a while, but then when it implodes, it's even bigger. So we'll talk about how you would protect yourself straight ahead. And then we've got a bunch of technology news in the final segment before Paul Joseph Watson takes over from London, England in the 4th hour. We're very proud of the fact here at InfoWars that we're a teleprompter-free operation. We don't get our talking points from the private Federal Reserve or from Nazi collaborators like George Soros. We get our talking points from common sense and research from we the people. That means our guests, our researchers, you the listeners, the callers. But that said, today I've got a script I'm going to follow for the first time ever. It's you, the listeners, the viewers, that wrote my talking points. I came in here an hour ago, and I literally just went to InfoWarsStore.com and printed the 5-star reviews, the first few pages. These are in the order of how they've been posted by you, the listeners. And it's 5-star after 5-star after 5-star. It's amazing from third-party sites. So this is what you, the listeners and viewers, have to say about the products at InfoWarsLife.com. Let's go over them right now. This is verified buyer Mark, 5-star review for Anthroplex. It's for men and women. I take it as directed. As is, one uses it too much, it will cause reflections of adolescent years in skin and muscle, and hair growth will, of course, increase sex drive as a given. Easy does it. Yeah, it's hardcore. It's very, very serious. Not a game. Thank you, Mark. Here's another one from Patrick. Energy all day. I use this along with Super Male, and it makes me have drive and energy all day on my 12 to 14-hour day. Another review. I love this one. Keeps my husband going and going and going. This must be the stuff the Energizer Bunny is on. I guess that's some fine lady using her husband Adam's account. Here's another one, ladies and gentlemen. 5-star review for Winter Sun, Vitamin D3. This product is amazing and will keep you from the winter blues. I don't get sick. Last winter while I was taking this for the first time in my life. Amazing product. Again, tastes good as well, they say. Here's one from Brian. I love this product and I live in Wisconsin. Thank you all. It's time that we turn the clocks back and lose the sunshine. I love this product and I am a night owl. Every night owl should have this product. I will buy this product as soon as possible again. And I should add, that's a great name for this product. Not just for the winter, but for night owls as well. In fact, it'd probably be called Night Owl. Night Owls, Winter Sun, or Night Owls get sun in the winter. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I said I'd shut up. But back to the script. Liquid Sunshine's what they call it. I love that name too. I will be using this product for 2 years now. It's wonderful out in the Pacific Northwest to get this Liquid Sunshine. Patrick, thank you for the support and for the review. You make it literally possible. Continuing with Silver Bullet, the highest quality 30 parts per million colloidal silver out there. Dale, should be called Magic Bullet. Oh my gosh, the listeners are so much smarter than me, and I'm not being patronizing. But kind of that's what a silver bullet's supposed to be, though, kind of. So I've been using Silver Bullet colloidal silver for years now. This was the first product I purchased from InfoWars Store. Whenever I feel the first stages of cold or sore throat coming on, a dose of Silver Bullet colloidal silver has always ended it before it starts. I've been giving it away for family and Christmas and birthdays since 2015, and it's worked for everyone. It has become an expected gift for our family, and that's why we get you the best products, because we want the repeat customers. It's all a win-win. That's an awesome review. Thank you, Dale, for your support and for what you've done for your family as well. We only got 20 seconds left, folks. I can't get to all the other Silver Bullet reviews, the Caveman reviews. They're all 5-star. They talk about the meal replacement, how great it is, how it blows them away post-workout, pre-workout, taste, okay, they say, but it's the results that really matter. Best post-workout ever is what Andrew says. Find it all, folks, at InfoWarsStore.com or InfoWarsLife.com. You can't lose because you're funding the second American Revolution, and I salute you all.